So this week's presentation, we have the benefit of 4 people here who are going to be sharing this talk with us. And it's called The End. There is still a lot we can do. Nobody wants to die alone at an old age in intensive care. While we are healthy and totally aware, we can decide on our own in which way we want to be treated at the end of our lives. We must avoid the creation of false hopes which lead to futile life support, which results in unnecessary expenses for doctors and hospitals, and in many cases causing pain and suffering without providing a basic quality of life. If we make the right decisions today, we can die with dignity in the future. We will all die someday. Many expect this moment to be kind of romantic, that we will close our eyes and not wake up again. Isn't that the truth? I thought that's how we do that. Nevertheless, according to recent statistics, 80% of the population will suffer from a terminal illness. It could be heart disease, illness of lungs, kidneys, or the feared cancer. On that happy note, please join me in welcoming Hartwig Stein to the stage.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. We are happy to be here. I first want to introduce our team. First, our team leader, Dr. Coppelia Velez. She's an anesthesiologist from Guadalajara and a palliative care physician. Then I want to present Dr. Dinora Rodriguez and Dr. Juan Pablo Betancourt. My name is Hartwig Stein. I have only this mask in my hand because I will be also maskless during the presentation. I thank you very much for leaving your mask on. I googled that. I'm a licensed bachelor social worker. That's my degree from Germany, and I hold a master in adult education. Okay, the subject of our presentation is the end of life, what we can do, that this is not too hard on us, that we can plan ahead. We made this little presentation. I will read everything to you, so if you can't see it because it's too far, it doesn't matter. Okay, only get one of these. Yeah. First, and very important, thank you for being here. We really enjoyed that we were invited to this circle, and we thank you for taking part in this event. Okay, that's what I will talk about with the help of the team. The stages of life. We will share some important definitions. We will ask ourselves, when is the time for palliative care? We will define what quality of life is. We will talk about family and caretakers, and we will ask ourselves what a decent death is. I can't see your faces, but I see nobody's smiling, so it's really an important topic. First, the definitions. I will, that I'm not talking all the time, I will give the microphone to Dr. Coppelia, and she will tell us what a terminal disease is. She will take off her mask for this few moments.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the disease is part of the life. Most of us maybe have some disease, kidney, heart, liver, wherever, it doesn't matter. But sometimes it is very advanced. If I ask myself if I will be alive in the next 6 months with my disease without any medical support, and I can answer by myself, no, I won't, it's a terminal disease. Even that, we have red flags to check, a very objective flags to say if some disease is really a terminal phase. Because you really need the real information, a very objective information about your disease. You have this right.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Coppelia, for helping us with this definition. What then is palliative care? There are two kinds of care we can receive from physicians. One care is they want to cure our disease. We are sick and we want to get healthy again, and then we go to a doctor and the doctor prescribes medication and treatment, and then we get healthy again. Palliative care does not have this purpose. Palliative care focuses on quality of life and a lack of pain. So the patient receives the necessary treatment to not suffer. But getting healthy again is not an option anymore. Why is this important? Because many patients and relatives say, oh, no, I'm not giving up on my mother. She will receive treatment until the final day. And the mother says, okay, when that's what you want, then we will go on with the treatment. That in often cases leads to that people die in intensive care in a hospital. And that often is not the best option. So physicians are very, very careful, and they use many objective indicators to say, is this a curable disease, or are we past this phase? And then when the physicians decide we are past this phase, then they call us, and we talk with the family, we talk with the patients, and we provide the comfort that the people can, the time it takes, die in peace. Okay, we will talk about symptoms, we will talk about the advanced directive letter, and we will talk about euthanasia. It's pronounced like that, correct? Euthanasia, that you help somebody to die. Euthanasia in Spanish, easy to pronounce. Okay, bad news for you. There is no legal procedure for that in Mexico. No physician at all is allowed to prescribe a drug, medication, or any other treatment which makes the person die. I've heard that somebody says, yes, but I know somebody who, it's not legal. No honest physician will do that. And I can tell you, there's a study from Canada where palliative care is available, and I think it was Finland, where people said, would you, when there's palliative care available, would you still want to die before the day you really die? And people say no. When there's palliative care available, I would like to let it go the natural course, and I just don't want to suffer. That's what people normally want. They don't want to suffer at the end of life. Okay. The stages of life. Very funny. When a child is born, you all have passed through this. By yourself or by some loved ones, friends. The belly gets bigger and everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Baby shower. Will it be a boy or a girl? Did you already buy the clothes, the baby bed, and so on? Everybody's happy. That's a good event. Then our young ages, we learn, we go to school, we prepare ourselves for this adventure of life. Everybody's happy. Oh, did your son get into college? Your daughter, what does she study? What do they do? How did they advance? Did they marry? Everything like that. It's a very pleasant experience to ask the people about how they are doing in this life. 21 to 40. We get productive, we get the business, we settle down, we get married, we make so many things to establish ourselves. And we talk about it. We ask our friends, what are you doing? What's your profession? How did you develop? How did this job go? Are you happy? How was the divorce? I'm just kidding. Also a phase we talk about. Then 41 to 60, I'm 58, so I'm leaving this phase now. We still talk about it. Perhaps not so much that I can't run so fast anymore, that it costs me a little bit stay awake at the middle of the day, but we still talk about our lives, about our successes, about our future, about our plans. And then 61 to 80 plus, we get more and more silent. It's not that we want to talk about that we are fearful. We have our faith. Many of us have a strong faith where we go after this life. But it's not something we really want to discuss with our neighbor or with our friend. We don't plan for this event. And that can have some unfortunate consequences. Because when we cannot decide for ourselves anymore, because we are lying in bed, because we can't talk anymore, we can't express ourselves anymore, then other people will take this decision for us. Imagine, I will not let my mother die. I will bring her to Houston so the specialist of the specialists in cancer can have a look at her and that she gets still a brain surgery. And you said, I don't want that. I want to die in peace. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with what I achieved. I can round it up here. I can leave now in peace. But you didn't sign an advance directive letter. You didn't let your friends and family know what you decide at the end of life. So the decision will be taken for you. The advance directive letter is Carta de Voluntad Anticipada. It's organized by the states. In Jalisco, it's legal. If you sign it with witnesses, it's legal. No doctor will give you advanced treatment when you are dying when you sign the advance directive letter. So it's a legal document. We are willing to answer questions after this presentation. Okay, I think I took again too. Okay. What's quality of life? What do people say? When I don't have quality of life anymore in the final phase of my life, I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to receive treatment anymore. But we have to have some definitions what quality of life means. If you want to join in, you can. If not, I keep talking. Activity level. Imagine you all came here by your own. Nobody carried you to this presentation. You can walk, you can be active. You can go to the restroom if you like. Imagine another person lying down flat in bed, not being able to eat by him or herself. That is one indicator of quality of life. What are your daily life activities? If I ask any one of you, what's your daily activity? You will have plenty of activities. You get up, you make breakfast, you meet friends, you read the news, and so on and so on. If your only activity would be lying in bed and receiving visitors, that's another indicator. How do you see your own health? A person who was all his or her life in a wheelchair will evaluate this in a different manner than a person who was a marathon runner. So your own perception about your health, this is another indicator. Family support, very important in Mexico. When we, as a team, are called by a family and we go in there, sometimes we see 20, 30 people sitting around there, nephews and nieces, grandchildren, and extended family. And they all want to take best care of the sick person. Sometimes in other cultures, the German cultures, I always say Germans, they die alone in a hospital. I'm just kidding, but you see, sometimes it happens that the community takes care of the people because the family is in the United States or in Canada or in a different country. So this is very important if the person has some support. Very important if the mental capacity is declining. Imagine somebody like to read books about Shakespeare, about philosophers, and then he or she finds out the mental capacity is declining. She reads, but she can't remember the words anymore, or the words don't get any meaning anymore. That's quality of life. We evaluate, and then we always ask the families of our patients, how do you think on a scale from 0 to 10? There are other scales, they have names like Spitzer, the Spitzer scale, but we ask them on a scale from 0 to 10, your father, what quality of life do you think does he have in this moment? Lying in the bed, not being conscious, having problems to breathe. And people find out very quickly that the quality of life is not very high. Again, we don't let people die. We don't make this path faster. Palliative care means you go with the disease. That means you do nothing which hinders the normal development of the disease. What we do is that there's no pain, that there's comfort in this moment. Now I have to tell a joke because you got very serious. Okay, when do we have to take decisions of palliative care if you want to receive palliative care? It's now. It's now when we are conscious. It's now when we can make up our minds what we want. There are patients, and we really respect that. There are patients who say, go with everything. Doctor, I put my life in your hands. I want another surgery. I want radiation. I want every medication which is available to humankind to survive. Fine. Fine. If the person does this on the basis of valid information, that's fine. You all have heard that. Oh, your disease is curable. My grandfather had the same. It's very easy. That's a myth. Or that's a hearsay. That's Dr. Google. Oh, we know many of these. Doctor, why do you prescribe this medication? Because I read in the internet that it has some serious side effects. And then the doctor has to explain where you get this medical information from. You get it from scholarly articles, which are on paid databases, not from Google. Okay, so it's a personal decision how we want to end his life. For my part, I told that before, I go deep into a forest when I have to die, so that nobody finds me. Because really, Father, you are looking so bad, we have to bring you to the hospital. No, you don't. Just stay here, give me company, tell me some funny jokes, tell me what my life was worth for you, and I'm ready to go. That is my decision. And I don't want people to interfere in this decision and to say, no, but you have to go to the hospital. We have to go to another doctor to find out if your cancer is curable. That's a personal decision, and you have to take it now. Because if you don't take it now, perhaps afterwards other people will take it for you, and it will not be in your best benefit. Okay, 2 more words. The advanced directive letter. We will hand out our business cards when the presentation is over. You can always contact us with questions by phone, by email. And we can help you with this advanced directive letter. We have it in Spanish, but we can also translate it to English and give you some advice with that. Okay? Light your backpack. Can I make a joke with you? Okay. Remember, last time when I came here, she didn't say hello. Actually, she was so busy, she didn't even pay attention to me. And all the time I was here, she didn't even contact me. And I was very angry. And for this reason, I don't like her anymore. And no, it doesn't stop there. Because I told everybody that I don't like her anymore. And this is eating me up from inside, because it's hatred. It's negative. It's not positive. It doesn't help her, it doesn't help me. Lighten up your backpack. Go to the people and say, okay, we are at peace now. You know, I was very angry last Sunday when you didn't pay attention to me, but I think you were busy. So I'm very happy to see you today. Sisters, brothers, other relatives, relationships. We will not stay forever. And it's better to say, okay, forgiven. And if there's something I have done to you, I ask for your forgiveness. That's meaning lighten up your backpack, so that when you leave, it's not so many things in there anymore. Okay, and your will. That's very important in Mexico. You know, father dies, 8 children, 10 years of legal battle, because they didn't sign a will, they didn't think of that. And we lived that, and imagine, in the hospital, few days to live, the doctor always tells the patients, Juan Carlos, el tiempo apremia. That means, Juan Carlos, it's very urgent. And we had people who signed their will 2 days before they died. Notaries, they don't give credit to the last will when the patient is not conscious. So when the patient is like this and can't answer anymore, there's no chance that the will is signed. So if you haven't done this, it's a very good time to think about that. September is coming. In Mexico, it gets a little bit cheaper to go to a notary and just sign everything I have, I give to the palliative care. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, and you know, there's some things they do with our body when we once die. You don't want to leave that to the family, the problems and so on. So if you go to a funerary service and say, okay, I have paid this service and put it into your papers, then they know whom to call. Imagine you pass away and they say, now what? I can swear you pay triple the price if you don't have any funerary service done in advance. Thanks for the comment, doctor. Okay. Huh? 20 more minutes? Wow, that's good. You could ask yourself, why do you need a social worker in this team? I say because it's the most important person. I'm just kidding. We take care of the family. Normally, doctors are not very good in telling the truth to the patients. I can tell you, when you see a doctor, I always say, much of respect. The people study all their life. I asked once a colleague, why are the doctors so childish? I don't understand. They laugh about jokes I laughed 30 years ago. And he explained to me very seriously. They get out of high school. They make a test to go to the university. They study all the time. That's not party and what do I do and study life and so on. It's studying hard all the time. 5, 6 years. Then they get out, they prepare for the national exam to make a specialty, it's called here, and then 3 more years to make a specialty, and then they are about 30, 32, 33 years old, 35, and that's the personal development, it just stays back. They don't have time for significant life experience, and they are all learning all the time. So doctors are not very good in telling the patients the truth. And that's when they call us. There was one patient, the patient had cancer, was terminally ill, and the oncologist told him, I see you in 3 months for our next appointment. The doctor knew he would not be there in 3 months. It's important for us to take our own decisions. For these decisions, we need information. And this information is, the doctor makes that very, very carefully to tell people, it's called the confrontation with the diagnosis. She tells the people first, how do you feel? And then, based on this, she says, okay, do you want to know the truth, or do you want that I talk to your relatives? Most people say, please tell me. And then she says, I'm sorry to tell you that the disease is terminal. There is no chance that you get better, but there's still things we can do. So that's the confrontation with the diagnosis, and we confront the family also, and then they can take decisions. They can take good decisions based on evidence. Why are we so cruel? Because then Dr. Google comes out and says, oh, there's a treatment in Canada with a special liquid, and they just drain the money from the people. And there is no chance that they get any better. And the treatments are also hard on the patients. That means carrying the people to Houston to a special care unit, that's very hard for a terminally ill cancer patient. So we take very much into account the family. Okay, I wanted to make a cross, but I thought we all have different religions, so we just put it there. The end. I already told you, how do I want to die? I had a Turkish friend who told me her father died. He went to his church community, he was 83 years old. He put his boots on, he went to his church community, and on the way, he fell and he died. And she was very sad. And I told her, he finally arrived with his God. That's how I want to die. I want to go out of a healthy situation. I want to be on my own foot. I want to go somewhere and die on my own. There are other options. I could die in a bed, terminally ill, surrounded by my family, or I hope I will die in peace. But what I want to avoid at all costs is dying in pain or dying in a hospital bed in intensive care. So that's the end of our presentation. I think we have more time for questions now. And thank you very much. Thank you very much.